AskReddit by Squirrel Kid 11. Which movie soundtrack slaps from beginning to end? Almost Famous and High Fidelity. The Last of the Mohicans. The song Promontory from that soundtrack is on my running playlist. It never ceases to add a little pep to my step. Gladiator. Hans Zimmer. Dazed and Confused. Howl's Moving Castle. Joe Hisaishi, as a composer, is brilliant. His Studio Ghibli portfolio alone is entirely amazing and Fantasia-like, but more especially is Howl's Moving Castle, as you've said. A Goofy Movie. Deleted. Blues Brothers. That's cause they got the best of the best when it came to that style of music. Everyone in the Blues Brothers band in that movie is a famous musician prior to the Blues Brothers. That's before you get Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, and some other legendary cameos with their own songs. I'm not well versed on this part, but I was told by someone recently that it's because John Belushi hyper-focused on the subject and said if we're gonna do this we're gonna do it right. Tron. I know you probably mean Tron Legacy, but Wendy Carlos' score for the original movie is The Crow. This and the Natural Born Killers soundtrack were my youth. Natural Born Killers. Trent Reznor did the soundtrack. How I Discovered L7's Shit List and Leonard Cohen. Prince of Egypt. I send my scourge, I send my sword. Thus saith the Lord. O brother, where art thou? And X200B. Edit. It makes me so happy that there are this many people who also love that movie and soundtrack. Great soundtrack and best line ever. Well, ain't this place a geographical oddity? 2 weeks from everywhere. Snatch. The use of Angel by Massive Attack during a slow motion scene is, to this day, by far my favorite incorporation of music to movie scene. Jurassic Park. I saw JP at the cinema as a kid and loved it and regular watch it. When the 3D re-release came out in the cinema 10 years ago, I went to see it again on a big screen. Still get goosebumps during the they do move and herd scene. Had to go back and watch it in 3D another 2 times and it did the same thing each time. So damn good. Gross Point Blank movie soundtrack. Completely slaps 100. Movie also had the best fight scene, the one with a mask and a pen. Pulp Fiction. Any Tarantino movie tbh. Interstellar. Pretty much any movie score by Hans Zimmer slaps. The soundtrack for Drive. The song by Kavinsky is so fucking good. Donnie Darko. Particularly the original theatrical cut. Mulan. Trainspotting. I must have scrolled past 100 comments before I finally found the right answer. Baby Driver. This movie got so snubbed cause I believe it came out right around all the Kevin Spacey allegations and was the last big thing he did before shit went down. Absolutely love the soundtrack and like first 2/3 RDS of the movie. Empire Records. Deleted. Goodfellas. Especially that scene with Layla, Derek and the dominoes, piano closing. In all seriousness, the original Little Mermaid soundtrack. https://en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/Alan_Menken is ridiculous. Along with all the Disney stuff he also wrote Little Shop of Horrors. Garden State. Hello College Memories. Knight's Tale. 1 and a 2 and a twirly twirly twirly. Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. Deleted. It's Tarzan, right? You'll Be in My Heart was the last song I played in my school brass band before I left, and it will always have a place in my heart, like the song suggests. Queen of the Damned. Terrible movie. Incredible soundtrack. Flash Gordon. Flash. RAAHH. The Matrix. Thank you for the award. How was this solo? https://yahoo.be/hhrjn_jpqxk. This is a really cool video about the soundtrack that I can't fully comprehend, but as a non-music theory person, it's still super interesting. Labyrinth. Space Jam. Hit 'em High by Be Real, Coolio, Method Man, LL Cool J, and Busta Rhymes had absolutely no business being that hard on a single for a kids movie. Man, I wasn't going to stop scrolling until I saw this answer. I must have listened to that soundtrack 1,000 times as a kid. Singles. Came here to say Almost Famous, same director as Singles. Always good music in his films. Heavy metal. This is almost cheating, hahaha. Shrek. But only if you're a believer. Shrek was good. But Shrek 2 was masterful. Forrest Gump. I wore those CDs out back in the day. Lord of the Rings. Concerning hobbits will never not make me feel absolute nostalgia and complete inner peace. Beverly Hills Cop. Purple Rain. Hans Zimmer. Yes, all of them. Purple Rain kicks off with Let's Go Crazy and ends with the titular track. This is a cheat code. Also, the best answer. Fifth Element. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Reservoir Dogs. Pretty in Pink. My favorite film score is Basil Palladari's score for Conan the Barbarian. Palladaris had an inordinately long time to compose the score. He started before the film started filming. He wrote a ton of music for it. The film also has very little dialogue, often going several minutes without a word, which means there is music almost constantly throughout the film. The first 30 minutes of the film have maybe a dozen lines of dialogue, not counting Mako's opening narration and Corin's short speech after the credits. And it's just phenomenal. Edit. I had to watch it because I talked about it. It's 17 full minutes before there is a single second without music, and there's about a dozen lines of dialogue, maybe fewer than 100 words total in that time. Music resumes only a minute later, during which time the only dialogue is the line "sit here," which is uttered twice. In the first half hour, only about 7 or 8 minutes don't have the music front and center. Good Morning Vietnam. Since no one has mentioned it yet. Star Wars. The arena specifically is my favorite. Aka March on the Jedi Temple. Can't believe I had to scroll down this far for Star Wars.